Vera's time in Manchester is fused so strongly with my own that when writing this, I was cautious of simply sharing with you my own spirited days in that rain-soaked city. Manchester, with its purple skies, red brick chimneys, and a never-ending supply of student basements in which to party, provided the backdrop against which so many of us here in this room first glimpsed that flash of blonde, first felt the force of that light and energy, first pricked our ears to that husky name, Vera. V was, of course, the first to arrive in Whitworth Park, our halls of residence. She was a week early. And she spent every evening in those first few days knocking on all the doors along the corridor until somebody answered a call to play. She always wanted to play. And let's be honest, she was very, very good at it. September 2005. By some grand stroke of good fortune, I find myself sharing a flat above a Greasy Spoon cafe with the most beautiful girl I have ever met. I am, quite simply, in love. She has an accent we cannot quite place, and one of our housemates wonders whether this is because Hastings is so close to France. More that year than should have been possible, considering how many times we wake up without our keys, phone, wallet. Manchester adored Vera. She worked in bars, restaurants and pubs across the city, as well as appearing in a reconstruction on Tonight with Trevor McDonald, as an extra in World War Z, in a bath full of plastic balls for Vodka Revolution, and a number of curious art projects for Sally in German, one of which I seem to recall involved plaiting her hair together with Anya's and sitting stock still in a cold warehouse for people to peruse. Over the course of 7 fine years, she made nests in Whitworth Park, Longside, Fallowfield, Withington, Chorlton, Old Trafford, and the city centre. She befriended people from all walks of life, and I am in awe of the vast network of friends she generated. No wonder her favourite command was, "Let's regroup." Her feet were as itchy as they were tiny. And whilst at times tropical, Manchester wasn't quite exotic enough to keep Vera entertained all the time. Her respect and understanding of different cultures, languages and countries grew by hitchhiking to Morocco, teaching children in South Africa, and travelling with friends to Rotterdam, Berlin, Spain, Amsterdam, Croatia, France and Italy. Not to mention the festivals, Mad Ferret, Glastonbury, Sonar, Soundwave, Big Chill and Worldwide. Her travels with Ben to Cambodia before she moved to London left her in no doubt that seeing more of the world she lived in was something she wanted to do, and I know she would have stayed true to that dream. In Manchester, I found in Vera a companion who could work as hard as she played. She was devoted to psychology, and thus early mornings on the dance floor were often reward for long nights in the library. But even after her first-class degree and merit at Masters, I don't think she ever realised just how intelligent she was. To have excelled as she did is impressive, but when you stop to think she did so in her third language, it is quite simply phenomenal. Her dedication to the field in Manchester was developed after her studies through her work with the University Research Department as recruiter and assessor for people with psychosis who use cannabis. For this, She also had to learn to drive on the left side of the road, as she whizzed and bumbled around Manchester, Lancashire, Cheshire and Tameside in her little red car. For 6 years, the houses in which we laughed and cried sheltered us from the famous Manchester weather. But it is the invisible strength which came from a friendship that treasured challenge as much as support, which protects me now. We became ourselves in Manchester, discovering a shared love of absolute joy and freedom, alongside a mutual determination to reach the goals we set ourselves. She is truly the most wonderful voice to have in my head. At once staunchly moral, yet equally forgiving, fierce and gentle, all at once. She made me brave. Her advice will always guide me, and for that I am incredibly grateful. I first shared this poem for Vera with many of you in Latvia, but I would like to share it again now. I wrote these words in scrambled form sitting in Vera's room in Kennington. I was struck by the proliferation of all of her things around me, familiar belongings that I have grown to know over the years, and yet amongst it all, the complete absence of Vera. The framed dog portrait I gave her from the veggie cafe in Manchester. A fabric-covered wine bottle she used as a candle holder. All those rag-dazzle clothes she never let me borrow. I kept touching these things, hoping for a memory or a feeling, a little crumb of Vera. And I learned that memories are far more powerful than possessions. We are not the objects with which we surround ourselves. We are much more than that. This is for Vera. You are movement and noise, a grin, a cackle, a turn on your heel, swift to answer and warm to the touch. You are a good friend, because you listened, remembered, and asked. Because you cared for my family as much as for me. Because you were honest. You are pink and yellow and green and blue. You are trumpets and flutes and cymbals. You are late and looking for your keys. You are scanning the shelves for a bargain. You are pronouncing the Czech lager perfectly. You are spitting out your gum and sending it flying with your boot. You have scrawled a map on the back of a water bill, and you are following it as confidently as if it were an A to Z. You have spilled wine on the carpet. Again. You are wagging your finger in my direction, about to interrupt. You are dancing like a loon and bringing me with you. You are wearing a blue turban, because why the hell not? And you are beaming. You are an adventure every single time. You are a glorious liability. You are my best friend, and I miss you.